Hello, we have a good old-fashioned synergy off. We've got some War Beasts and we've got some War Jacks, and this is just the heart and soul of Warmachine. Flesh beating on metal and back and forth and a good old-fashioned melee brawl. So, let's get right into it. He's playing Kaya 3, and he goes first. He gets pretty far up the board. Lord of the Feast is just out of spray range and threat range of all my stuff. Everything is out of threat range of all his stuff. He's got a feral over here. He's got another feral right there. He's got a Warpwolf Stalker. And he's got Eye and Snapjaw. I can't remember what goat that is. I will put it in the description. And then he has 3 birds. I want to say one of them is a Scarsfell, and the other 2 are the ones that have tracker. We'll also put in the description and know what they are specifically. Shifting stones in the back and a blackhead Clad Wayfarer. He's got 3 solos, so he can score all 3 flags. Part of this game will be trying to take down those solos and eliminate his scoring. Because he has first, he is probably going... He did take the map, and I don't have much room to play with because... yeah, he's got good threat ranges, and Synergy's not very good for poke damage, but because he has good threat ranges on so many models, he can probably commit and get a lot of work done, especially with Primal. Kind of changes that equation. He doesn't need a huge Primal or huge Synergy stack to really mulch a Griffin or 2 with a Primaled and Strength Warped Feral Warpwolf. So my plan is I'm going... In this situation, because of his feat, if I run my whole entire army into him, he can go over the top of my army and selectively rip out everything he wants to rip out. He can get Imperitus, he can get Discordia, he can get my Gorgons and leave me nothing with but Griffins. And it's just makes me... It would be really bad. I cannot take a full alpha from him. So I'm going to try and bait a bad alpha. I take my entire army, I put it behind this forest over here on the left and over down in this side with a Griffin over here in the forest to go contest that zone over there. And the idea is that if he puts his feral and his bird into me, he's not getting a good synergy build and he's not getting as much damage output as he could. And I space out so that it's going to be hard for him to get a lot of things. And I'll show you what that looks like right here. Imperitus is out of range of the feral, and everything is just kind of in a place where it's hard for him to get what he wants to. He can't see that Gorgon through the forest. You can see this Griffin over here, but the way he'd have to charge would make it so they wouldn't be able to get to the Gorgon. It's all like calculated out so that the feral can only get to one thing at a time based on how it's going to land. So yeah. His decision, that was my first turn, everything. Oh, so Lord of the Feast is a big problem. He can go and mulch my whole support. All my Griffins are within 3, so whichever one of them, it's the only gun in the list. Whichever one of them he hits with his gun that allows him to teleport base to base, I'll shield guard it all the way over to an irrelevant Griffin. Probably right in front of Disco, so Disco can just squash it. Like probably that Gorgon or something. Then Vyros or Disco can squash it. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to have a kid, and I've been thinking about kid names. And I'm thinking if it's a girl, Assyria, and if it's a boy, Vyros. And wouldn't that be so cool? Like, and wouldn't it be hilarious if Megan didn't even know they were Warmachine names until, like, afterwards? Oh, that'd be so good. They're such good names. I could totally have a kid named Vyros. Oh, that'd be so sweet. But I digress. So my plan is bait a bad engagement, see if I can get him to run his entire army into my face and pop feet with a bad alpha. And you know what? That gives me a chance to scalpel out part of his army. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Also, yeah. Oh, what happened here? Oh yeah, that's right. So that was his turn 2 movement. This will be my turn 2 movement. That Griffin up there on the left is a little messed up, but it's fine. Between the Disco spray and the Gorgon spray, Griffin walks behind it because it's not within half an inch after repoed, and hits it once and kills it. And then I'm also within 4 of that flag. So So he has to deal with the Griffin if he wants to score that flag. Debate on whether or not this is going to be a feat turn, because he took his whole army and he backed up. He didn't fall for the bait. He didn't fall for the trap. His whole entire army is sitting there in a line, hoping I'll come forward so he can get the alpha and then the defensive feat that is amazing that he wants. If he had put solos on the flag, I would have killed them, but I would have been giving away a Griffin to do so. It would have forced it out of me. It's a hard decision for him to make because he doesn't have very many solos. I think he chose correctly because his biggest threat to me is scoring 4 points in one turn. And as soon as I kill some of those solos, I'm taking away that ability to score 4 points in one turn. Because he can just burst score, like he can score 3 flags and his zone and contest my zone and maybe even kill my objective. There is so much scoring potential here, and he is playing to it. Snapjaw, or wrong, I can't remember whichever one of them is solo. Lord of the Feast, they can go score these 2 zones, or Kaya can herself, and this Black Clad can score this right zone. That is intentionally set up. And I have it set up so Lanyssa can run over to score that if I need to, but I can't really give away much more. Something I should have done in this game, my Arcanist unit should have been on the front lines to contest things. I don't need all this ridiculous amount of focus that this list gives me. I don't even really need concentrated power that much. My units should have been throwaway pieces, and instead I decided that I was worried about him scoring 4 points, so I wanted to go up. I scored my zone, and I threw a Griffin into his zone. I should not have thrown away a Griffin. I should have thrown away an Arcanist. Man, regrets. Big, big, big regrets. Anyhow, that's how the board sits here. I did not pop feet because the way I'm looking at this, I'm thinking he's going to kill 3 Griffins. And I do not want to pop feet off 3 Griffins. The only thing I could hope to achieve from that is potentially contesting the zone and possibly killing Kaya with sidesteps and a charge. However, there's a good chance she just transfers all that damage, and she's always got elusive on her. So the assassination dream with Imperitus, even though he's going to be Mat 11 on synergy, and I can probably deafen Kaya for -2. If he's under star-crossed and got the feet up, all it takes is 1 miss and it's over. And if she's camping like 4, there's probably good chances that I don't even kill her with all 5 attacks from Imperitus, best case scenario. She just has so many things to transfer to. I don't like the feet assassination run hoping to get lucky type thing. So hold my feet. What was going on here? Oh, this feral Warpwolf and Imperitus. Imperitus is like 10.5 inches away from the feral, intentionally so that it would have to warp speed to get to Imperitus. Which is a big deal because with synergy and primal and warping strength, I think it just absolutely hoses Imperitus. But with not warping strength, I think it's got pretty good odds because of the damage that's wasted going to the void when Imperitus dies and does his Phoenix Protocol. It's always weird the way dice math works out on this. He does end up killing my 3 Griffins, and he puts the feral into Imperitus. I think if he had put the feral into the Gorgon, the Griffin, and the Griffin over here instead of Imperitus, it would have been a lot worse for me, as I would have lost almost all the meat in my list. But yeah, Imperitus takes it. He lives. He Phoenix Protocols. He takes some damage on the force field, and he's going to heal it up on my turn. Everything else is going to get in threatening position. Kai's going to pop feet. The Starcross bubble is going to go right here. The Starcross solo dude is going to go to right there behind the forest, which I can see through because of bird's eye. The big giant gator is going to go kill this Griffin. This Griffin right here, the bird, is going to go hose a Gorgon and a Griffin. And then this feral Warpwolf goes into Imperitus. And that's how that works. And the bird and the feral are primaled. So I got a lot of work to do. Because he scored 3 points there. So the score is 3-1. He's up by 2. Not only do I have to do a lot of attrition work on his defensive feet under Starcross, I also have to do it in such a way that I don't lose the scenario. First things first, this Griffin's got to go kill that Black Clad. I got to build up a little bit of synergy to make that more reliable, but just has to kill the Black Clad so that he can't score over there anymore. Imperitus is going to murder the bird and the Feral. So here's the debate I always have with Disco. Do I spray to make synergy building more reliable, or do I build synergy and just get a whole bunch of melee work done? It's always such a dilemma because I love Defen so much. I love the -2 defense. He's defense skewed right now. That's a defense 17 bird potentially under Starcross. That's a defense 16 Feral potentially under Starcross. I mean, I'm not going to move into Starcross range, but yeah. Disco sacrifices movement, spray targets the gator, and sprays all three of them. Hits the gator, hits the bird, misses the feral on boosted to hits. Defense skews them down, does some good damage. Vyros comes in, charges the bird, finishes off the bird from the POW 14 from Discordia, did really good damage. Building synergy up to 1. Repos to safety, pops feet. Now it's time to build up some, I think this Griffin went, and where Vyros is standing, he was in synergy range. I think he goes and kills the Black Clad next. I hit the 5 I needed and put it into the ground, built synergy to 2. Imperitus then goes and kills the feral without concentrated power, and just a POW 19. And then it's time for my dice to explode. They absolutely just go terrifyingly amazing. These 2 Gorgons walk into this goat that has elusive on it, and his D4. First off, what happens is this Griffin. This was a misplay, and I'm going to attempt to correct how this would have worked out without the misplay. This Griffin walks into everything's crippled on him from this bird, and I didn't realize it was crippled, and I played him like he wasn't crippled. He walks into Wrong Eye or the solo and kills him. Now, we re-rolled it out once I realized that it wasn't crippled, and the Griffin would not have killed him, but he would have used 1 transfer. So then this Gorgon walked over here, boosted to hit, and should have probably still hit the goat, but it might have with the Starcross bubble still up. It might have missed the 5 under Starcross boosted to hit that it needed to. However, it wouldn't have affected my damage roll, which was like a 664. It was an absolutely monstrous POW 21 dice plus 3. Like I half-healthed it. Then the other Gorgon came up. And once he's out of the way, this Griffin back here that got a couple. Also, pretty much everything is fully fed by my ridiculous number of Arcanists. For synergy, I believe 2 Gorgons got synergy, and this Arcanist over here got concentrated power. Maybe it was a focus, but everything else just got fully fed. A crap ton of focus. So yeah, this Griffin should have, and we mathed it out and redid this, gone over and killed the solo. That's how we replayed it. Instead, he went and killed Lord of the Feast because that solo was dead from my illegal use of the Griffin. So we reset the board and had this Griffin go over and kill this solo that has star-crossed up on him. And that set things right. And we re-rolled that. Then this other Gorgon came in and finished the goat off with a POW 21 that also cranked the damage roll. My goodness. It was like 656 or something like that, or 654. 2 monstrous damage rolls in a row to kill the goat. It should not have happened. With those 2 gone, Lord of the Feast is over there. There is Imperitus within 4. After some sidesteps from that objective. Oh, no, sorry. This Griffin that went to charge the Starcross solo was within 4 of Lord of the Feast, so he wouldn't have scored. So that part wasn't affected. And he's got the Feral, and he's got the Stalker, and he's got Kaya. He's got the Shifting Stones, and he's got the Bird. And that's where this board state ends. So on his turn, and I skipped the picture in between that, Lord of the Feast goes in, kills my 2 Arcanists after doing the Spirit Eye door thing to Disco's back. And this Warpwolf Stalker, he went and killed a Griffin that was right here, and then lightning striked into the way of Imperitus, so Imperitus can't kill Kaya, because Kaya also killed another Griffin. And this was my feat, so stuff was moving around. Imperitus moved across the board over to threaten Kaya. This feral comes up and kills a griffin. Vyros moves out of cover since nothing can threaten him anymore. He's coming up the board to potentially get to Kaya. I want to keep that option alive. The bird just kills the griffin that was over here. Lots of work happened. Everything is primaled, though, to make this work happen. Primaled Stalker, primaled Feral, primaled Bird. He would not have removed the 2 Gorgons, the Griffin, and the 2 Griffins over here if there wasn't all that primaling. Because now I'm just heavies. However, because of Primal, and I have all these solos, I can put all these solos next to the beasts, and if my jacks fail to kill them, it's fine because they'll just frenzy into a worthless Arcanist at this point, because I do not need this much focus. My freaking goodness. What happens over here? Oh, that's right. Lanyssa goes to contest up here because the score, I think, is 5-2. He's up by 3 right now. And I got to score some points or I'm just going to lose this game. So Disco goes in and kills this feral. But before that, Vyros built up synergy by killing Lord of the Feast. Lanyssa runs over there to contest this zone. This Arcanist runs over here to score this flag. Imperitus kills this Warpwolf. And you ask me, why don't I just assassinate her? Because she has elusive up, and I could have done the deafen thing, but he has 2 transfers. And what if I miss and the Stalker's still alive? I just wanted the consistent attrition in scenario play, because I'm going to score 2 points here and make it so he can't score, and then we'll just be 1 point away from each other, and I get a whole nother turn to either kill Kaya or score points. It just felt safer rather than going for something where dice could fail. Transfers really change the way this works. Also, I wouldn't be able to get full synergy, because if I shot with the deafen gun, which I wouldn't, because I would want to build synergy, I only have 3 models that can build synergy, and I also don't have concentrated power. So there's a lot of really weird things here that made me not feel great about this assassination run. And usually he's an assassination monster. Yeah, also Imperitus is fully healed his force field at this point by rolling Phoenix Fields. But yeah, I kill his beasts and contest his zone. This bird primals over and kills out Arcanist, building synergy up. Kaya comes over, kills Lanyssa, and then Bloodspiller kills the Arcanist, and then repositions back a little bit to that flag to score the flag. And then Vyros goes over, and so he scores a couple of points. I think he's up by 3 at this point, because a bird ended up after reposition in this zone to contest this zone. And here we are. So, I'm going to use Easy Rider because Imperitus is not within 4. Vyros goes over and smacks the bird pretty good. Does a lot of damage to it. Discordia walks over to Kaya at Mat 7 from Synergy. Boosts to hit the knockdown because she has elusive. Knocks it down. Buys another attack into it. Leaves it pretty messed up. The transfer kills the bird. And then Imperitus comes screaming across the map and kills her. Now that she's knocked down and Synergy has been built up to 2. So there's some weird things in this game that made it turn out this way. I feel like it's a very close, tight-knit game. I was barely not losing on scenario every turn. My feet helped. I didn't really talk about it much, but I was using my feet moves to contest zones and flags so that he had to continue making choices that were weird a couple of turns back. I mean, I guess it wasn't that huge of a feat, but it was nice because he going first, he really put me in a jam where scenario was a huge losing point for me. It was so positioning based. There were several points in the game where we had big debates to make, and each of us, I felt like, made really good decisions. Giving up that goat, he probably didn't think I was going to kill that goat. I didn't think I was going to kill that goat. I shouldn't have killed that goat. Dice allowed me to kill that goat. If it had been back a little bit more, I think he would have gotten a lot more work done against me the following turn, because that would have been another thing that he could have either primaled or just rip into me. And that's not even a criticism. He played really well. I felt like I played pretty well. The mind games were real. The game turned out great. It was a lot of fun. The dice where the Gorgon spiked, kind of. Oh my goodness. Because if that goat hadn't died, it could have just jumped over to Vyros and potentially killed Vyros, depending. No, because Force Lock would have prevented it from moving, and it wouldn't have been able to jump all the way over to where Vyros was. So he would have had to kill both Gorgons, which he might have been able to do. But that was something that was a potential losing situation for me. What was left? Yeah, he probably could have done it. The Feral and the Stalker could have come over and killed both the Gorgons, allowing the jumpy goat to get primaled and walk over to Vyros and potentially kill Vyros, who I think was on 2 or 3 camp, but he probably just does. And that game, that could have just gone way differently for me. I had this Griffin over here. When I had that illegal play where I killed the Starcross dude, I was planning on this Griffin going in and cleaning up after the Gorgons to kill that. So the Starcross dude would have lived. I probably would have made that choice. I wouldn't have banked on my Gorgons getting so lucky, and this would be an entirely different game. Those dice spikes and me playing this illegally, probably in a tournament, I probably should have just been disqualified. I think those two things drastically impacted the way this somewhat pretty even game was going. It was a great game. I absolutely loved it. It was a lot of fun. And thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm sorry for butchering so many names.